And welcome to another TLB Marketing Essentials video tutorial. This is part of our WordPress series, and we're going to talk about choosing a WordPress theme. So first of all, what is a theme? So a theme is not just a cookie cutter website where you simply replace pictures and replace text. If you are looking for something that's simple, you can go to Wix, Wix.com, I believe. You can use several other options like the GoDaddy website builder, and there are some really simple ones out there. However, what you do lose is functionality. So if you're looking for a really professional site with some plugins that give you extra functionality, with special map plugins or booking online or WooCommerce and several different options, you do want to go with WordPress. And again, in my other video tutorial, we talked about all the benefits of using WordPress. So if you're not all that comfortable with having to deal with the back end and installing things and doing a little bit of cropping and graphic design of your images and some layout and just a little bit of coding, what I do recommend is that you hire a designer to build your WordPress website for you, and from there learn how to update it. Because once your WordPress site is built, it's quite easy to stay up to date. It's easy to put a post up, add a new page, make changes. So that part is relatively simple. Setting up a website, on the other hand, can be a little complex and a little bit overwhelming for someone who has no coding background and who maybe is not super tech savvy. If you're a very tech savvy person, you have no problem learning new programs and whatnot, and you want to give it a try and it's a great challenge for you, then by all means go ahead. So where can you find a theme for WordPress? If I haven't scared you off, that is, Themeforest.net. And you will want to go here regardless of whether you're going to do it yourself or get a developer. We will go into Themeforest.net in the tutorial, and I can show you around a little bit, and we're going to talk about what to look for. So do you want to go with a developer or do it yourself? So like I said, either way, you're going to pick a theme. Why will you pick a theme if you get a developer? Because you will simply save a lot of money. So rather than a developer coming up with the coding for all of the functionality that you need and paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for that customized coding, you are buying a kit that basically has all the coding ready for you. It still has to be assembled in the right places, so you don't just automatically have the right number of columns and the right areas for the pictures and whatnot. All of that you still lay out yourself, but the coding is actually there for you. So these developers are sometimes selling a theme 5,000 times over, and through that we can have a $48 to $60 theme where the developer does make their thousands and thousands of money off of the theme, but they're not making it all off of you. Now, do you have to worry about a bunch of other people out there, 5,000 other companies having the same site as you? Absolutely not. And I can't stress that enough, because you can have 10 websites with the same theme. You can have 100 for that matter with the same theme, and no two sites will look alike. You're going to use different colors, different fonts. You'll have different imagery, of course. Some themes have up to 24 different options for your homepage. One of my favorite themes does. It has 24 different options for homepage. So, I mean, right there, even if you have the same images and colors, 24 different websites are not going to look the same. Add to that your colors, your branding, your imagery, your text, and none of these sites are going to look the same. You just have the coding to allow you to do the things that you want to do and have the functionality that you want. So if you go with a developer, of course you're going to have a higher cost. Doing it yourself, you're going to pay about $60 for a theme, and then for any plugins that you want, you can pay up to $100 for a plugin. Most websites never go over another $100 for those plugins. And then just a lot of time. Using a theme for the first time takes a little bit of time to learn that particular theme. So even someone like myself who builds websites, there is a learning curve each time I install a new theme that I'm not used to using. I do like certain themes better than others, and we'll talk about why later, and I will sometimes reuse those themes and just pay for another license. It makes my work a lot faster because I've learned that theme, but there's other benefits to why I'm using certain ones as well. Your cost, if you get someone to build it for you, is going to depend on how big your site is. So I will give you some rough estimates so you can kind of have a look and decide which is right for you. But on average, you'll often pay about $400 just to get the theme installed, your plugins installed, and get your colors and your fonts and everything set up the way it should be set up. About $400 for that. And then you're going to pay about $200 a page. So if your website is incredibly simple and all you've got is, say, 3 pages, you have a home page, a contact page, and an About Us page. So you're going to pay about $400 for that setup, and then $200 each page. That's another $600. That's a $1,000 site. Now, of course, it's only going to go up from there. Some websites, if they have e-commerce, they've got a blog, they've got a lot of information on their website, they're going to be paying upwards of $7,000 for websites. I've even seen at $2,000 or $20,000. So the average site for a small business is often in the neighborhood of $1,500 to $3,000. So there are options with some developers and companies, such as myself, to do sort of a part and part. So if you feel comfortable in getting a lot of your themes set up and you just want WordPress installed on your domain, you don't want that techie part of it, you don't want to worry about the installation and getting a few things in order, just that simple setup for you can be the $400 mark. And then from there you can add different pages yourself. Or you can have, say the setup and your home page built for you and take it from there. So there's some different options. Some developers, of course, won't do that. It's all or nothing. Myself, I like to work with people and give them a few different options. I do like to see people try it themselves. And then you can always come back to me if you need a little bit of help too. So hopefully that helps you in your decision. So what to look for in a theme, because of course you're going to be looking at this regardless of whether you have a developer or not. Whether you want to look through the live preview and demo, which we will go into Themeforest, and you'll see what I mean by that. So you want to go through the preview, you want to check out the different versions of home pages, check out the different versions of, say, the contact page and the galleries and the portfolios and the About Us pages, and see what it looks like. Does it have the functionality and design that you need? So what I mean by that is, say you are a wholesaler and you have a bunch of retailers and you need to have an interactive map where they can see where your products are located. They want to see North America wide. They want to be able to punch in their postal code and get the nearest retailers near them. Well, does this website already have some functionality like that? Are you going to need a plugin for that? What you want is a website that is as close to your functionality as possible. So if you're a bed and breakfast and you want people to be able to book online, you don't want to pick a website that does not have the online bookings and you have to purchase a plugin for that. It simply isn't going to integrate as nicely. When you find a website that's closer to your industry, for instance, if you're into real estate, I highly recommend you go with a real estate theme rather than trying to make a different theme work for you, because there's certain things that across the board most real estate agents will need, such as searching for homes, the ability to add in a property with all of the different parameters of a property that's already built into these themes, and you're going to save a lot of money from having to get a coder to do all of that for you, or a company like mine. We can do it. Of course we can. We can do anything that you want coding-wise, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. So finding a theme that has the closest in functionality and design to what your needs are, you're going to be a step ahead of the game right there. Now, of course, things can be added. What I don't want to deter you with is looking at a preview and saying, oh, I don't like that color, or I don't like the pictures in it, for instance, because all of that is customizable and all of that's going to change. So you're really looking at functionality. Is this theme going to do what I need for my business? You want, this is very, very important, a responsive theme. Believe it or not, all of the themes out there are not responsive yet. What is responsive? It means if I'm looking at it on my iPad, on my iMac, on my PC, or on my smartphone, it's going to respond to the device that I am using. And you will not have to have a secondary site built to view it on those devices. There's a huge majority of people now viewing your site on their smartphone, and you want to make sure that it's easy to navigate and it looks good on that device. You want to look for something that has unlimited colors. There are themes out there that it is not easy to change the colors, and you have to go into the CSS, into the coding, and it is a pain in the butt, and that's going to be very difficult for you to do yourself if you can do it at all. You'll be scouring the web, going through forums, trying to figure it out, and even I have trouble with this, and I end up, if I'm using a theme like that, I run to my programmer and my coder, and I get him to change some of the CSS, because there can be up to 50 different spots you have to change that little hex number, and if you miss one, and it's usually hard to find for someone who's not used to coding themselves, it can be very difficult to find and very difficult to change. So you do want one that says it's unlimited colors, because usually in those cases it means that they've made it very easy for you to change the colors. So especially if you're doing it yourself, you really want to make sure it says unlimited colors. You want to look for a page builder if you're doing it yourself, even if you're just intending to edit your website yourself. Whether or not you have a developer do it for you. A page builder, you can always go back to the back end and work on coding if you prefer coding, but a page builder is great for the layperson because it does give you the ability to have a better visual as to what you're building, and I will show you what this looks like in the next video tutorial. So a page builder gives you a little bit more drag and drop feel, and you can lay out your page and have a visual for what you're laying out. Instead of, if you want 3 columns, for instance, on the page, you're not having to insert the code for 3 columns and then insert all of your information one on top of the other. Where if you have a page builder, you actually see the 3 columns. You can click on it, enter the information you want in that column, so it's much easier to work with a page builder. A lot of new themes have these now. You also, if you are having requirements for e-commerce, make sure it's an e-commerce ready theme, and most times it will actually have the e-commerce files, and if it'll have a cart page already designed for you. It'll have nice shop pages that are already designed. So if you are going to be selling stuff, make sure you do pick a theme that is an e-commerce theme, rather than trying to get a coder to customize all that for you and having to spend a lot more money that way. It's great to get a site that is SEO optimized. You will probably install a WordPress plugin for SEO anyways, but if it's SEO optimized, it's just a better structured website for search engine optimization. So sorry if I always skip over and call it SEO. It is search engine optimization, for those who aren't that familiar with it. Do you have multilingual needs? Do you have people in another country that are going to view it in French or Spanish? It's important to get a site that already has multilingual support, so you're not having to pay for a whole other website in another language, which we used to have to do, and have a translator hired as well. So just pay attention to what your needs are for your site. Does the theme have good support? You can find this in the comments. It'll say that there's a support forum. It'll detail outlines. We're going to go into Themeforest and just have a look, and you'll see what I mean. But does it talk about the support? What is the theme's strength? You can find this out partly by looking at the sales. Is there a huge amount of sales? If there's 5,000 sales of this theme, it's probably a little stronger theme than one that's only sold 20. People are buying it for a reason, and most people who are buying them are developers, and they know what to look for. So you can look at the sales. Do they have high sales? And again, don't worry about your site looking like somebody else's, because every website is going to look different, even if it's built with the same theme. Look at the ratings. Are the ratings like 4.5 stars out of 5? It should be a pretty strong site, because developers are going in there and rating them, and it helps the other developers out there. And you can look at the comments. Sometimes a comment will talk about what great support they have, or it'll talk about frustrations they're having within the theme. So check out the comments on the theme. Don't just quickly pick something because it looks pretty to you. Make sure you're actually looking at the theme's strength. Another option you have, and some of this is not very, it's not like the theme's strength isn't all something that you can just look for on a site like Themeforest. Sometimes I will actually send themes that I like off to my coder, and he will have a look and a little bit more in depth as to whether or not that particular theme is going to have some good, strong coding and break less often. All websites are subject to breaking once in a while, but if it's a weaker coding website, or if it's really brand new and they haven't worked the kinks out yet, it's more likely to break. So I send a lot of things off to him to have a good look at. If you want me to send it off to my developer and you're still going to build it yourself, that is an option. You can always contact me and we can talk about rates for that type of service. You want to look for compatibility. So we're going to look at this again on Themeforest, whether or not this is compatible with different plugins, with WooCommerce. It'll list what browsers it's compatible. So make sure you're looking at the compatibility of the theme. Look at the documentation and files. Is it offering you Photoshop files so that you can do mock-ups? Is it offering you documentation? If there's good, strong documentation, that's fabulous, because you're going to have a little bit of information as to how to actually do things in that theme. Some sites have no documentation whatsoever, some themes I should say. And other themes have really good documentation where it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do different things, and that can be really helpful, because even though it's a theme, things are not that straightforward at times, and you can get in there and go, what? I thought I was going to have a website that looked like this, and I was just going to have to change a few things out. How the heck do I do this? I've got a big blank site. And so the documentation can come in really, really handy. It'll go all the way from, how to install their theme, how to change certain things, to how to add some of the, really cool special effects like counters and different things. You want to look at how many different layouts there are. So a theme that has 24 different layouts for a homepage is obviously a lot better than a theme that has only one homepage option or only 3 homepage options. So check out how many layouts there are. Do they have 3 different About Us pages that you can choose from, a few contact pages? Do they have lots of different galleries to choose from? I highly recommend you get a theme that has a lot of different layouts. It just gives you a lot more options and is going to also guarantee that your site's not going to look like anyone else's. And do they have a lot of short codes? Short codes are little codes that can be inserted to do a number of special little effects. Sometimes it's just special icons. Sometimes it's a neat little table, the way it displays some information. Sometimes it's, one of those boxes that if you click the plus symbol, it opens up like an accordion. Lots of different types of short codes out there. So look for a theme that has lots of short codes. It just gives you more options. So we're going to take a quick peek over to Themeforest and kind of show you where to find this stuff, and then we'll end this tutorial, and the next one will actually be on theme installation and customizing your theme. So we are in themeforest.net. There is the URL there. And when you get here, one of my warnings is that they also have PSD, Joomla, it's a totally different platform, Magento, they've got HTML templates, so make sure you're choosing a WordPress. I have seen people go and buy one and say, why can't I install this on WordPress? Because it's not a WordPress theme. So make sure it is a WordPress theme. If you're looking at one and it's like $3 or it's $19, chances are you're looking at an HTML theme or a landing page, and you're not actually looking at a WordPress theme, which will usually run you $48 to $60. All right, so you can go right up to the WordPress menu and you can pick any of these categories: corporate, creative, e-commerce, education, etc., real estate, or you can enter a search here. You can search for spa if you're a spa. Keep in mind, if you are a spa and you don't see any that you like under the term spa, you can always just find another website under any of these categories. As long as it has the functionality you need, it can be changed up. The colors are going to be different, your photos and all of that. So not to worry, it's still going to look like a spa website or whatever it is that you have. So here I'm just going to search for a responsive WordPress site. And my apologies for slow internet right at the moment. Okay, now to have just a really quick look to determine if I even want to go further and look more, what I can do is I can hover over and I will see, sort of some images there, and that will sometimes tell you yay or nay, I kind of want to look more at this theme. Once you want to have a closer look at the theme, and you can see right here it already says WordPress responsive. That's a really good thing. When I hover over this, I already see there that it's responsive and mobile ready. It has 7 different sliders to choose from, 600 plus fonts. Your site's never going to look like anyone else's. It has unlimited color variations. Perfect. Backgrounds uploader, so you can have different backgrounds on here. It's fully customizable. It has sortable portfolios, drag and drop page builder. Remember we talked about that. SEO optimized. It has a Udesign support forum. It's multilingual ready. Has Visual Composer, which is a builder. And it has WooCommerce shopping cart already enabled. So, this is already looking really good. When you look over on the side here, we see that it is compatible on all of these different browsers. It has versions of, the WordPress 4.1, which is the newest. And we look in here and oh my goodness, it has over 40,000 sales. Look at the one below it, only 1,280 sales. Which one do you think is stronger? It's going to be the one that has a lot of sales because developers know what to look for. So I'm going to click on this one. And again, sorry for that very slow internet. Okay, so now that we're in here, it's still loading a little bit. Okay, so it's going to give me some extra information. So a regular license is $58. If I become a reseller, it's probably a few $1,000s. Now, if I just scoot down here, I see what the sales are. They've got, over 30, almost 3,800 comments. I'll go into the comments. Again, here I look at the buyer rating, 6.64 is the average. That's great, and almost 5,000 people have rated it. Is it high resolution? Is it widget ready? Have a look at these different things. What's it compatible with? Gravity Forms is a great form. Plugin, WooCommerce, all of these different things. I can go with more than 4 columns if I want. It's well documented. Perfect. Layout is responsive. Again, what we were looking for. There's some drag and drop. It's flat design, fluid design. These are all newer things. What people are saying about it, go through those to see what people are saying. It gives you a little bit more information, so you want to look about, what the comments are here about the design, about the SEO. 91 out of 100 is their score on Google's page speed test. That's fantastic. And again, it just goes over and over all of the different benefits. We can have a look at comments. And you can go make a cup of coffee while you're waiting for my page to load. I happen to be doing this particular tutorial in Costa Rica, and high-speed internet is not quite what we call high-speed in Canada. Okay, and I'm just going to stop that for now. You can go into comments, read people's comments. I've already taken a look at this one actually, and it talks about what great support that they have. The support team is fantastic. You can look at the support tab. And then what I really want to point out here is to go into the live preview. So you click on that live preview. It seems that our internet is it's bumped me off my favorite network here. We'll just get this going again. And here we go. And I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so that you can view it better. Okay, now this one is just shrunken a little bit. It would look just slightly different if you were to have it full size. But what I'm going to show you here is that you can go through this website now just as though it were your own and see the different options that it offers you. So first I'm going to scroll down through the home page, and I'll see that, I can do these nice icons here. Of course, I'm going to be able to change those icons out, and I can have these nice 4 columns with read more links. I can have, a different color with some information here. And then I can add 3 columns with some buttons, and you can kind of get a feel for the capabilities. Now again, when you go to build this, it's not going to be a matter of, I'm changing this picture and this picture. You need to add these different sections to your page yourself. And with the builders that I talked about, it's really easy to do that. What the theme does is it gives you the capabilities to create all of these different functionalities on your site. Now I'm going to go to another homepage example. And so you see here, it's a completely different look for the homepage. So there are, on this one, 8 different home pages. Like I said, one of my favorite themes, Aveda, has like 24, I believe. Here's a list. You can click on list of features to see what the features are of the design. You can check out the different types of sliders. This is great. They have so many sliders. The Revolution I really like. The different short codes, header examples, WooCommerce integration, go into what people are saying about it, and you can check out the different pages. So the blog page, for example, the contact, you can just have a peek at what this could look like on your website. Now some actually have 6 different types of blogs. So instead of having just one large image here, it might have sort of boxes all over the place and no right column. So there's different options depending on the theme that you have. You can check out the shop pages. There's price boxes. Just simply go through this whole thing. So see, you may have a business that has different types of, say, monthly packages or something, and so you do want to make sure that you're finding a website that has something like this. And you see this one actually gives you several options for that, which is really nice to have. And of course, all of that can be customized with different colors. I'm just going to go into the short codes so that you can see what a short code is. So, column layouts, content block, images, buttons. Let's go into buttons and you will see. So, for example, you can take a look at what you want your button to look like, and they give you all of the code necessary to create that button. We'll look at message box. So if you want a little message box on your site, something like this, it gives you all of the short code for creating those. I like accordions and toggles. So here you could click this for some drop-down content. And it just gives you all of the coding necessary to do these kind of things. And let's look at the contact page. So this is one of the options. This is actually quite a nice contact page. Quite often they don't include all of the business hours. If it doesn't include what you're looking for, it can always be done, but again, it's nice to find a theme that already has those capabilities, because if you're paying someone to do it for you, it's going to save you money. If you're doing it yourself, it's going to save you a whole lot of headache and hassle, especially if you're not used to coding. So have fun at Themeforest or whatever site that you're looking at to purchase themes. I happen to like Themeforest a lot and buy most of my themes on there, and they have thousands and thousands upon thousands of themes. So good luck choosing that theme. Let me know if you would like my developer to have a look at your theme. I can let you know, how much it is to do that. And good luck. And the next tutorial, again, we'll actually go into installing the theme into your WordPress site and customizing the theme.